Welcome back, everyone. I'm so thrilled you're with us on 33 Founders today because I'm here with Jason Weingarten, the co-founder and CEO of Yello. Thanks so much for being with me today, Jason.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Jason, I'd love to have you start out just introducing us to Yello and the three solutions you guys are providing for businesses.
Sure. So Yello believes talent transforms businesses, and we help companies more efficiently and effectively access that talent. So we have our staple, which is Resolute Campus. That's what we're founded on, which is a solution specifically for Fortune 500 companies that have a great need to hire students primarily for succession planning and longer-term leadership goals. It's everything from scheduling to event management, mobile apps to capture candidates, add career fairs, really everything from that particular workflow. We also have Yello Enterprise, which is one of our newer products. And basically what we had done for campus, those companies said, I really like how easy it is to use the software. Can you scale it out to meet our broader organization in the professional space? So we built it from the ground up that has all the latest tools. I think the beautiful part is that it's all recruiting aspects in one platform rather than having to integrate with dozens of different tools. And then we have Yello SMB, which we were surprised about. We found a lot of small businesses weren't happy with solutions that were out there for talent acquisition, and we ourselves are a small business, and we use the tool to do video interviewing, to post jobs, and to make hires quickly and easily. So those are the three platforms that we offer to clients.
There's a ton of enterprise hiring solutions out there right now, yet a quarter of the Fortune 100 companies have chosen Yello. Why is that?
I think the thing that we do very differently is we sell success. So there are lots of tools out there that will continue to evolve, and you'll get into feature battles at some point. But we get a good understanding of what the customer actually needs, not necessarily what they want. We get a good understanding of the lay of the land for what will actually make them successful. How to pilot, what countries to pilot in first, the change management aspects. We have feet on the ground at large events. I've got team members. That was the reason I went to Tokyo recently. It's the reason why my team members, we've got people in Houston today. We've got people all across to make sure that our clients are successful. And once you show success, especially at the enterprise level, they love to tell you their other stories and their other opportunities. And we've taken, we take that to heart. We're excited to continue to grow. And I think that's why people love us. Our solutions are easy to use. They make sense. So it's kind of that consumerized enterprise software. But from our perspective, if you make your client successful, they will find a way to continue to use your solutions.
And you guys are completely mobile optimized too, right?
We're mobile first. So I stood up on a soapbox of we had 4 total employees. This was several years ago, and we built the first ever mobile recruiting app. That was extremely important to us, and we did it better and first. We also are platform agnostic, so it's native on iOS, on Android, and on Windows, which I think is a huge competitive advantage for us. So everything we do, mobile first, and we even built an iPad app, assuming iPad 2 would come out with the front-facing camera, which we were going to need to scan. So that mobile is not just in our blood, it's something that we truly believe in from the ground up.
I'm really excited to dive into your rebrand because it really seems like with the way the company was scaling, it was a natural process for you.
Yeah, it was a fun process. I still sometimes refer to the old company like Rex. This is Jason with Rex, so it's something that I'm still learning. the reason we decided for the rebrand was people had trouble pronouncing the name. And when you have very limited time speaking with an enterprise client, speaking with a potential investor, you don't want to spend 10 minutes on what is the company, I don't get this name, I can't pronounce it, am I pronouncing it right? So we wanted something that was very easy. And my co-founder and I, we came up with some names. We were both marketing people. We're like, we can do this. Came up with some names that we liked, and then figured we probably should have professionals do this. So
what were some of those names?
Actually, I don't want to say, because I think we might use some of them in products. But yeah, there's some names that we didn't choose that I'd be happy to tell you offline that it probably would not have been done. But in this particular instance, we had this firm come in. They just did interviews with our clients. They did interviews with us. They wanted to get a better understanding of the market. And we kept talking about how we wanted something that was both consumer-facing and enterprise-friendly, something that made large corporations more approachable, something that was focused on engagement. And it was funny, I used to pick up the phone for friends and family and I would say, Yello. And so that just started to work. I think the area that we were a little concerned about is we didn't want it associated with the yellow color. It was more of a better way to say hello and a way to engage with candidates. So if you'll notice on the logo, it's actually an upside down H, which is pretty cool. And we also, on the color spectrum, we went either we were going to go with a blue or a purple, something as far away from yellow as possible. So it took a while to do it. We vetted it out with some of our large clients, and 7 out of 8 really liked it. The 8th we had to talk to a little bit more, and then he finally came around. But it was a fun process, and one that we involved really most of our team members, so they really felt like they got to be part of this new name.
When it came to the interviews that the agency was doing with you and your co-founder and everyone on your team, what kind of questions were they asking you? Because it must have been really thought-provoking.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was, where do you see the industry in 5 years? Why did you get into this business? What do you like about your job? What are the end results to the solutions that you provide? So it's less about features, it's more about emotions and impact. And so, yeah, it was really interesting. It was very thought-provoking, and I truly enjoyed the process. And I was at a dinner with a number of CEOs last night and recommended this firm. I was like, this is just, I think it helps you get to know yourself better. And I think we've got a name that's more playful, better representative of the culture that we've created here and the products that our customers love.
I want to shift gears for a couple of minutes because, as we were saying, the main reason for the rebrand was you guys are scaling, you have two new huge products, which are for enterprise and small business.
Sure.
I want to spend a few minutes talking about Jason Lemkin's post, which you shared from Quora, on the different stages that software companies go through. Where do you identify yourself right now?
So I believe our company's in what you call that growth stage, or based on our numbers, the hypergrowth stage.
It's always nice.
You have kind of that initial idea traction of, can this actually work? Then you have customers that will actually start using it and give you valuable feedback. So now you have some buy-in, and then you go to the stage of, can we actually get enough people to buy this product that makes it valuable? And then you get to the really fun stage where we're at right now, is how can you throw as much gas on the fire as quickly as possible without everything blowing up? And that's kind of the hypergrowth stage that we're at right now. So we had 30 employees just a few months ago. We'll have 50, 51, and 52 starting on Monday. So it's exciting, but at the same time, it's much more structured than it's been in the past. People know the roles that they're going to go into. It's more specialized. And I love the article, or Ben Horowitz posted, or in his book, he talked about how your job as a startup founder changes every 3 months. And you're kind of in that phase right now where I'm just trying to make sure all of my team members have the resources that they need to build out sales, to build out engineering, to build out success, and then on the ops side as well. Because if I don't enable communication broadly across the teams, that's when you start to see the ripples in the organization.
You mentioned that shift to hypergrowth, and hey, people really like this, like things are going well. And in that post, he shared that there's a phase when the recurring lead machine starts to hum, so you don't always have to be focused on going to get new customers. And he described it as the time, I loved this, where you see the founders start to look visibly healthier. So he's more fit, she's trimmer, she can have better hair and wear an outfit that actually matches. When did you feel like, hey, I can have a life again?
You know, it was, that part definitely resonated. I lost a little weight just because of it, which was really nice. I think it's not necessarily about having a life again, but it's trying to, I think there's some comfort that comes in. I also think that you are joining a group that very few companies have joined. And I believe working out or running or some type of exercise is a great alleviation of stress of the day. And so I think that ends up being just a natural progression. And I think that's why you see a lot of founders, again, between that 4 and 6 million run rate, that start to look happier and healthier. So I think, you know, it's important that earlier on, you're just so focused on the customer. And now the CEO role, especially at between 4 and 6 million run rate, now you actually have to be the face of the company. And so I think there's just a big change, and it's making sure you're ready to lead your team and making sure that you are more presentable for interviews like this. That probably, you know, because you have great people working under you that can start to take the burden off.
When it comes to that evolution, compare and contrast yourself as a CEO in 2008 when you guys started to the CEO I'm sitting with today.
So I would say the CEO of 2008, you know, I would say good at everything, but I wasn't great at anything. So I had to be good at knowing what the customer wanted, good at being able to get engineering to build it, good at talking to the investors about what the ideas were, because you had to wear dozens of hats.
It's never today, dozens is plural. Oof.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's amazing because you work on a project, especially in 2008, I was working on a project. I was the business analyst, I was the designer, I was the project manager, I was the solutions consultant, so I didn't have to work on communication. It was all in my head, and I had it, and I could just be good at each and have that work through. Today, my role has shifted dramatically, and it's I'm now not nearly as good in all those different capacities because I'm rusty at product, I'm rusty at marketing, I'm rusty at sales, because I'm not doing that day to day. My focus now is solving problems, making, I would say, sharp decisions quickly, and being able to provide communication and vision for the entire organization. And so that's been where my focus is of late. It's about making sure we're financially healthy, where in 2008 it's, you know, which credit card am I going to max out today? You know, so very, very different idea set. And I don't know that one is better than the other, but both are definitely enjoyable.
What are some of the memories from the early days that really stand out to you?
There are lots of them. I mean, I have a quote that I say a lot that's from obviously many smarter people, but it's the journey is the reward. And so the early days were awesome. I mean, I just remember, bringing on our first full-time engineer, and the QA process was not the detailed QA process that we have now. It was, all right, let's try it. Let's do it really, really quick, and then we'll test on prod. And it was, you did what you had to, and it was very scrappy to get through there. I have a incredible memory of one of our very, very large first clients. They said, oh, we need 11 of you to come to this one event and help run it. And so we said, sure, not a problem, even though we had 5 employees. So, we worked with a partner company to help us bring other people there. So it's just a lot of things of saying yes, making it happen. It's late nights, but it's those are the memories that you'll that'll last forever, and that's the stuff I cherish.
When it comes to the evolution of the company to you're no longer 5 people, and you guys decided to raise your Series A announce your Series A back in November, why did you wait so long to raise capital?
So we had capital at the very beginning. We did have seed capital. It wasn't what I would consider professional investors at that time. I started a company with the current co-founder, Dan, back in the late 90s and in 2000. We had a single investment from a super angel. One-time investment. We did very well. We sold the business, did very well for him, and he said, all right, well, let's start the next investment. From 2008 until we actually announced the Series A raise, we were definitely funded and we had capital behind us. But it wasn't what I would call like a professional venture capital firm that, there's very systematic ways in doing things. And I think part of the reason we've exploded recently is due to the 2 board members that we were able to get. They've just been incredible value adds, and their time, their efforts, their knowledge have actually been much more beneficial than even the capital that they put in.
Fred Wilson actually just shared a great post about boards today and how beneficial it can be to have somebody lead the board, whether it's someone on the board or the CEO. How have you found that to be?
What do you mean? To actually, when you say...
Are you the leader of the board? Who's heading everything you guys are doing there?
So I think we just have more shared conversations. So we'll basically frame it as, here's an opportunity. This is why we think this opportunity is something to go after. Poke holes in it. And at the same time, the board members, especially the investors, they'll come up with ideas and say, this is a trend we're seeing globally, or this is a trend we're seeing in the city. We think you should do this, and here's why. And so I think it's just more, it's a really relaxed board. It's I think we all get along. It's I would say very collegial, and I think we're all in it for the best idea. So I wouldn't say that one person necessarily leads it. I probably provide more chatter than the other groups, but that's just my persona. But I think it's important that everyone has the ability to speak their mind freely. And I think we just have a very open and transparent board, and I think that's led to some what we believe are very good decisions that have been made over the past year.
Great. So I want to shift gears for a couple of minutes and focus on your culture and your hiring efforts. We're just chatting right now. You guys went from 30 to this Monday. You'll have 50, 51, and 52. It's an amazing accomplishment. What does it feel like now when you walk into the office? What do you see?
It's different. There's lots of people. There are no empty desks. It's not as easy to get a conference room. So yeah, I mean, it's real world problems now. I think it's exciting. There's people around at 8 a.m. There's people around at 6 or 7 o'clock at night, working on and solving different problems. It's sometimes you have to take a step back and pinch yourself and remember that yeah, a couple of years ago, it was like 12 people in a basement. And now you're moving on and up in the world. So I think it's exciting. From a culture, we do have, I think we've defined ideal sets for the culture, and then the people that we hire, we've got a lot of characters that are here. It's a lot of funny people. It's people that are very intelligent, that believe they're right, but don't mind being proven wrong. It's a culture where mistakes and failures are okay as long as they're done quickly and there are lessons that are learned from them. So I think it's a fun group. There's a lot of people here that have found best friends. They go out socially, and it's a group that they don't want to disappoint their peers. And so I think we've created a nice culture here. And I think the hard part will be when you scale from 50 to 100 or to 200 of how to keep that going when we have so many people in one place right now.
What are some of the practices or celebrations and habits that you guys have right now that really make you feel that meaning in the culture?
So there's a few things that we do. I'm a big fan of The Office. That's a show that I absolutely loved, and so we do a fun celebration at the end of every year for the holiday party. We do it was Rexaloo, so we did the Rexies instead of Dunder Mifflin and the Dundies, and it's what I would say a celebration. We have a very relaxed environment here, so it's T-shirts and shorts and jeans if you want to dress up.
Sounds like my kind of place.
Yes, it's very fun. But at the Rexies, everyone's in like black tie, so it's a complete oxy of what we actually do. But everyone dresses up. We give out both what I would say awards where you kind of poke fun at your friends and coworkers, and then there's some serious awards that are on there too. We also celebrate every single birthday, and if we have 2 birthdays on the same day, that person gets the exact cake that they want, or the exact dessert, or in some case, we had one of my colleagues did crickets, that you could eat chocolate covered crickets. So you get your choice. You can be unique and fun, and the one other that I like to mention is we do these quarterly town hall meetings.
Or are they in the pit?
I'm sorry?
Are they in the pit?
They were in our old pit. Now we've got an actual like big glass training, which is very different than the pit. And everyone can anonymously ask any question they have. I answer every single question, regardless of if it's about financials, if it's personal, whatever they want to ask. Nothing's off limits, and I think it's that level of transparency that allows that trust to know that the organization's moving in the right direction and has the buy-in from all the people that we have.
Glad you brought up 2 of those points in particular. One is just the celebration in general, and the second one is transparency. And I actually want to start with the second one. I was just having a conversation with my friend Mike from Home Hero, and he said that he really feels like the guiding reason behind their success is having a transparent culture. Why is transparency so important to you?
I mean, it's important for a few reasons. The people that we are recruiting, they could get a job anywhere with any company they want. And so when you're attracting that level of talent, you have to trust that they're going to do wise things with information. And part of the problems with organizations are when there could be a perception of, why didn't I know about this? Why did they know about it? And so we don't even want that to come up. First thing, give people access to information, and if they're really smart people, which we believe we've hired, they're going to do the right things with it. And secondly, let's not worry about creating any drama of who knows what. And so transparency has been a big part for us.
So the second part of that is the celebrations. I've been learning more and more lately that one of the worst things you can do actually for your startup success is work 24/7. Why have you made it a priority from the start to celebrate birthdays? And if somebody wants chocolate-covered crickets, you're all eating chocolate-covered crickets.
Yeah, we want to enjoy where we work, and we want to. Everyone loves a success story, so being able to provide those types of celebratory moments, that's a lot of fun. It's very different than working at other companies where it's 10 or 15% growth is considered nice for making sure you get your bonus. For us, it's we're at that hypergrowth. So when you do that, there are going to be a lot of bumps in the road, and I believe it's important to never get too low because things aren't nearly as bad as they seem, and never get too high because things aren't as good as other people.
That's a good one.
So I think it's important to celebrate milestones. Anytime there's a new sale, the gong has been hit. There's excitement with the entire office, and I think we should celebrate together as a company because that's life's short. So you might as well have some fun while you're working.
Eat the crickets.
Eat the crickets.
You mentioned bonuses, and you guys have a really unique system for that, which you mentioned, I believe, in your 2015 goals that you posted on the Yello blog. The same metrics that will give you a bonus as CEO leader of the company are the exact same metrics that are going to give everybody else in the company a bonus. Why do you have that democratized approach of, it's not necessarily the title, it's that team effort?
Yeah, that was something that was really important to me. That was an area where there was a lot of conversation at the board level of does this make sense? Because for engineers, you want to make sure they're shipping good code and building more products. For the success team, you want to make sure no one's leaving. For the sales team, you want to make sure they're selling a lot of new companies or upsells. I believe it's very important that when we make a decision, the decision isn't changed based off of what one person's goals might be or what one team's goals might be. And so oftentimes you're going to make decisions where it's going to benefit one team and not benefit another. And there's just it's priorities. And as long as we all have the same outset of, look, we're trying to hit these specific metrics, here's how we're going to do it, and here's how we're going to do it as a team, it's, I think, the best way to move forward. And it doesn't mean that there's, there are other methods of motivation, but I think if everyone knows that the same bonus structure tied to me is tied to them personally, then they don't have to worry about the decisions that I'm making, and I wouldn't worry about the decisions that they're making either.
I deeply admired that. What was the ripple effect for that? How did everyone receive it?
They said bonuses? Bonus? We had no bonus structure before, so this was a add-on, and they were excited about it. I think, we didn't have to shift from like one philosophy to another, so we didn't have to endure any concerns that way. But I think if you're able to implement that in the beginning, I think it's been really good for our team, especially those that didn't have any type of commission associated with their job.
Love it. I read that it was an anonymous comment about Yello culture, and it really made me smile because whoever wrote it said this must have been similar to what it was like at companies like Facebook in the early days. That's pretty telling.
I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but I think we have an environment where we truly believe we're going to change the world. We started focusing on enterprises and changing the way they're hiring their next CEOs. It might take 20 years for them to go through the system, but we think we're going to make a dramatic impact on society, and we're really excited to do it, and we're very passionate people. At the same time, we like to kick back and hang out with the rest of the group, and I think we all enjoy each other's company. So it's a fun group here, and but I would say the passion is truly around innovation.
Great. So I want to spend the last couple of minutes just focusing on life questions outside of the office. Who are you, Jason, when you wake up on Sunday morning and you're with your family and the titles CEO and Yello aren't applying to you at the moment?
So I would say, for better or for worse, I'm the same person 24/7. Just like if I wake up Sunday morning and I'll check my email, I'll do stuff, I'll talk to my kids, I'll talk to my family. Like, I mean, it's the same thing regardless. 2 o'clock on a Tuesday in between meetings, I might do the same thing where I just might walk. So I think I've got that unhealthy balance of the same throughout, and it's what I enjoy. So I think on my Twitter profile, it says everything I do is both business and pleasure. I had a great time in Japan, but accomplished a lot too. When I'm home, I wouldn't say my mind is fully off work, but it's never fully off my family either. So that's just what works for me personally. I don't recommend it for other people where they like to have that buffer or the delineation between work and home. So my best friends are here in the office. The co-founder, someone that was a college roommate of mine. So I can't have a business conversation with him exclusively ever, because we know way too many secrets about each other.
I love it. What's one habit, personal or professional, that it's taken you a long time to cultivate?
One habit. So I would say I'm not very, I'm not very, what I would say, detail oriented. And in my schoolwork, I was, at best a B student at the really good classes, because I don't know if I just didn't care enough. I didn't put enough attention to detail on it. And it's taken a while, but I find every single typo. I'm an honorary member of our quality assurance program, because I'll find and can break any feature that we build. So I think it's that attention to detail is something that I never had growing up, but I've basically learned that skill over the past decade or so.
All right, last question. What's one question that you've always wanted to be asked? Again, personal, professional, athletic achievement from when you were 7 that nobody's asked you yet.
Oh, one question I would like to be asked. I don't know. Maybe so how about what drives you?
No one has asked you that?
No. They always forget about that question. It's a very important question, though.
Oh my God, what drives you? I forgot about that question.
Yeah, it's a great question. That's got to be your staple question moving forward.
It's a new thing. I'll quote you every time.
Thank you. No, I think oftentimes you look at drive of entrepreneurs and you think it's, they're looking for wealth, or they're looking for power, or they're looking for notoriety, whatever it might be. And I have this kind of strange drive of, I love pleasing people. And so to me, I'll do things for our customers that you wouldn't expect anyone to do, let alone the CEO of a company. So whether it's taking calls at midnight and conducting trainings overseas because there might be a really important person on there, and I have an insatiable appetite to please clients and please employees and friends, and I think it's anytime I get a smile back or a thank you, that's what motivates me.
Wow, that's a perfect way to end it. And now I have a question to end all my interviews.
There we go.
And
Deal.
I will end with one more question, though, which is way more important than any question that I asked. Everyone gets, you said, their favorite dessert for their birthday. So what's yours? What do you get on your birthday?
So I'm different.
Oh God, tell me you like dessert, right?
I'm not. So growing up, my
I regret
mom,
this.
Yeah, my mom would get donuts instead of cake because I didn't like birthday cake. I'm strange. So for me, for my birthday, I think I love Cajun food. and there's a restaurant in Chicago called Heaven on 7. So I cater in gumbo and jambalaya, and yeah, no dessert for me, but gumbo, I'll have 3 meals a day.
Bad last question to end on, but since you gave me my last question for all the interviews, I'll let you have it.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for taking the time today, Jason. How can everyone stay up to date with what you're working on? And for the businesses and founders who are watching, how can they get an introduction and demo for your products?
So anyone can go to yello.co, that's YELLO.co, and they can, from there they'll be able to see our social, they'll be able to see our products, they can contact us, they can read our blog posts, which a lot of people really enjoy. Able to follow us on Twitter at Yello_co, or myself, I'm at Jason Weingarten. And I like to tweet about business, about the Chicago Bears, and about restaurants. So you'll get a nice variety of things. But yeah, anyone who'd like an introduction, they can do that. They can reach us on LinkedIn as well. And I'm happy to connect with founders and just discuss war stories, or people that are looking to hire a lot of individuals, and our products might be able to be of assistance to them.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.